Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Tuesday here, your True Tuesday. I'm Leslie Pogue, your host and resident happy chick. So today's topic is your physical well-being declining? Hmm, what a question. And I brought that up because, I talk a lot about mental health and physical health, but mostly mental well-being and mental health. But I also haven't touched on it for those of us who are aging. I haven't done one of those in a while. I know I've talked about menopause in the past, but along with what came along with the pandemic, also as we age, our physical well-being starts to decline because of less activity. And so I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention because physical decline is typically associated with aging, but because of the pandemic, because we have now, so many people have become isolated and created such a sedentary lifestyle, not to mention eating and baking and all that. A lot of that has continued after the pandemic, and that feeds into our physical well-being. So you want to think about that. Studies show that decline begins around 50, but with a sedentary lifestyle, it can start as young. I know my niece, it used to crack me up. My niece was so young. She's such a drama queen, but she gets it organically because we're all drama queens. But she used to say when we would all be together, "Oh, my back hurts. My back, it hurts so bad." Like, little girl, you don't even have a job yet. So you can't, nothing hurts for you. But the thing is even a young person, although she was very active, so I use her as an example. She's not a good example for what I'm about to say. Young people also who do not spend a lot of who don't have a lot of activity, who aren't out there doing things, they may have aches and pains associated with that stillness, that sedentary lifestyle of sitting and playing video games. And maybe they're creating carpal tunnel and or tendonitis or any other physical illness or ailment associated with aging because of they're not moving, they're not having that activity. I still remember, I don't remember the year, but I do remember one Christmas one year that I realized how quiet it was outside. Some of you this might jar something for you too. There was one year where I noticed that it was Christmas morning, it was Christmas Day, and I was out, and it was so quiet outside. And I realized it's because kids don't play outside anymore, not like they used to. They got video games and different things for Christmas instead of getting bikes and big wheels and the things that you go outside and play with. And it just struck me. I've never forgotten that. We have, as technology has, you know, progressed, gotten more a part of our lives, there's so much time we spend sitting and staring at a screen. Sometimes there's activity involved. Like I love the Wii games, and now you have virtual reality kicking in. So that's wonderful, and that's going to get us moving. But we're still inside. We're not outside. So with aging, that also comes that ache and pain and all that, and a lot of that is happening with people actually as early in their 30s, which is blowing my mind. So there are a few things that you really want to keep in mind, and I bet you can guess the two main ones really, because it's associated with pretty much anything and everything, which makes sense because honestly, without exercise and without a balanced diet, our whole bodies go to crap anyway. And it's the basic maintenance that we can do, right? Just exercise in some way, ideally for no less than 30 minutes a day, 3 to 5 days a week, and um, eating right. I don't know why I had a brain freeze in that moment. And eating well balanced meals, and that means different things for different people now. Because now, like so many things, there's so many varieties of eating lifestyles. I'm putting in quotes lifestyles because there's keto and there's paleo and there's vegan and vegetarian. Those I know because those, and then there's all meat and all fish and all these different kinds of eating. But what's really key is finding what foods work best in your body. What I like to do occasionally is I did I'm not going to be able to think of it in this moment. I did the 28-day diet, and I don't recommend diets, but what it does is it cleanses your body. And I always go back to this particular soup. It's a carrot ginger soup that I will do like once a month, once every 2 months. I guess that's the truth. I'd like to do it every month, but I end up doing it every 3 months or so. But what it does, the purpose of it is you make it, but there are no seasonings in it that create inflammation. And that's really the key. Kind of flush your system out with water and with seasonings and foods that create inflammation. So it's really carrot, ginger, onion, cinnamon, zucchini. You boil it all down and you blend it all up, and there's more to it, but basically that's it. And you add pepper, but there's no salt, there's no seasoning or foods that create inflammation. And you'll eat that soup for a couple days and it just kind of cleanses out your system. So find things that work for you. That might be one of them, but find things that work for you to have a day or two, once a month or once every 2 months, to just kind of cleanse out your system. And definitely drink enough water, which admittedly I still don't do. And so you'll find the aches and pains with that as well. But then the third thing that we don't really think about is a lot of times our mental health has physical symptoms. So keep that in mind also. So when we're depressed, when we're anxious, we could sweat a lot, we can have those things. Not to mention if you are actually going through menopause, if you are experiencing menopause, there are a number of discomforts that are happening to you. And just by the food that you eat, by movement, by drinking water regularly, it helps a lot of that. With the night sweats and the hot flashes, you're getting dehydrated. So it's so important to stay hydrated and drink water and keep that going. After 50, I've heard so many people say this, it's happened to me as well, is they wake up one day and all of a sudden there's like this pain in their shoulder, and the shoulder varies on people. Like sometimes it's their right, sometimes it's their left. I know for me, it used to be my left. This time right now, it's my right. It just kind of bounces around. But it's this stiffness and you can't lift your arm a certain way and you just feel this pain. Just comes over you. And it's something that happens after 50. So just keep in mind, pay attention to those pains and those stiffness in the joints that start to happen for you and that are consistent. And you might need a doctor, but it also might be aging. And then a step further, it might be that lack of movement that we have gotten into the habit of, especially if we're aging, if we're remote workers, and if we just don't do a lot in our day, right? If your job is primarily sitting, then a lot of times you get in a zone and you don't get up and move around. So you want to start doing that. So think about those things as it relates to our physical well-being and the decline of that. It is preventable. You can minimize that, but you still have to take action. So I hope that was helpful for your Hear Your Truth Tuesday. As always, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and follow me on TikTok, all at LP Speak. And with that, until next time, I say, go be do.